read about it on EA
Well, he
forums.
does the dark frame.
You could just use dark.
Yeah, the newest versions of SharpCap, you can actually do dynamic dark and flat calibration of your incoming frames, presuming you have a master to do that with. So if you have a dark master that you've accumulated during the daylight or whatever, and you've done flats, then you can stack that into masters, and you can use SharpCap to apply that to the incoming frame, so it'll do calibration on the fly.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, during the day, you're saying doing that during the day. So, like, if you have an actively cooled camera, then you just set it at 10 degrees. Let's say it's minus 10 degrees C. You set that at minus 10 degrees C, and you can just take your darks one after the other, and it's going to basically perform the same way it would be if you were out at Big Woods at 2 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, typically I do my dark frames by stuffing the telescope in the closet and putting a towel underneath the crack of the door just to make absolutely certain there's no light leaks, and then just go click and then go do something else for 3 or 4 hours, and it does its trick. That's one of the advantages of a cooled camera, among others. But those last typically, I guess it depends on the camera, but do you remember, Michael, what the recommendation is? I think it's like once every 2 months. Because you do get more hot pixels as you continue to use the camera. So eventually your darks don't subtract out those all the hard.
We dither so hard, we wouldn't notice if those pixels were starting to leak in. That, you would know when to do it because it would be quite obvious that your darks weren't working anymore.
Yeah, more stars than you expect. And all 1 pixel.
But for what they're doing, they're taking under 30-second exposures typically, so you can nail a bunch of darks in like no time. So you don't have to put it away for hours, right? They're going to be able to, like you said, you just cover your scope at the beginning of the night, take your darks in 5 minutes, and then you're done for the night. So, for EAA, not for long exposure. If the LCDs in the field are blown away, the camera
Were you asking about how SharpCap stacks the frames over? I didn't.
No, I'm just
hear what you
saying.
said.
I was just, I was actually halfway wanting to know what the algorithm was. I mean, because
I have read something about that, but I think Michael is right. I think it's just straight
averaging.
No,
Yeah.
he's got a cheating.
But he has a rejection. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of pulling a, it's doing it on the fly, but it has to cheat a little. But it's effective for certainly an airplane or satellite. From there, those stupid things tested.
is that Paint Shop Pro? What you're
A
getting?
lot of little sky.
15,000.
Free
That
internet
Looks
for
a lot like
everybody.
Paint Shop Pro.
That, by the way, is something if
At least.
folks that haven't done this have an opportunity to do this. If you're out of Big Woods or whatever, and somebody's doing EAA and they've got SharpCap running and they've got it set on a target and they don't have attention deficits, or in other words, like leave it on the target for 15 or 20 minutes. Like I said, if you're new to this, if you just sit there and look at this as they accumulate frames, it's about as graphic an explanation of what stacking does as it gets. Because you'll see it go from, looks like somebody spilled salt and pepper all over the frame to something close to that. I guess it depends on how long and how bright an object, but noise goes way down as they continue to accumulate frames.
You guys can watch. I'm just putting together this as a mosaic. So I have to do this in 2 parts, or I have to shell out another 1,000 for the next camera model. So, but I'm sort of looking on the market for a new camera, but I don't know. You know that. So, all right. Well, that's the end of my presentation. I'm just going to play with this stuff. If you guys want to ask questions, what I'm doing, go for it. But yeah.
So how many people here use DSLRs? Technologies. I have a comment about this. You can get paralysis by analysis by reading a little too much online. In that people just tend to obsess over the whole temperature thing. Yeah, you're gonna have some issues if you're trying to calibrate frames where you took your darks and it was 35 degrees Celsius and your light frames were at 10 degrees Celsius. But I wouldn't freak out over that. I mean, honestly, I don't know what you think about this, Michael, but to me, flats probably matter more than anything else to get rid of dust donuts and things like that.
Given the size of the sensors, most people have vignetting, so I would imagine they're gonna have a harder time bringing out the shadows of the image because of the vignetting, but you can take histograms. I used to do this every 5 degrees. You'll see probably 5 degrees is close enough. I was dealing with amp flow though, with an older camera. These newer cameras, you don't have to worry about that. And it depends on how you expose it. If you're exposing long enough to beat down read noise, that's one side. If you're cheating and taking too short exposures, you're going to have more to worry about per frame. So I would say what I would always do is shoot it, and then the next night, usually temperature's similar. I just put the camera outside and let it take darks during the night. Hopefully, it was a similar enough night to the night I was out there that somewhere during the night you're going to have darks that'll work. So.
Some cameras will even take a dark frame automatically. They'll close the shutter, take a dark frame, and use it. It doubles your time.
Double your time.
Double
yeah.
your fun.
Yeah.
During the night.
Yeah, you can
Oh, well, then you just, that kills your signal noise significantly. You would never want to throw half your dark time away that you drove to get to taking dark. That'd be insane.
So for those that use DSLRs, you heard Michael mention something called amp glow. Do you guys know what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are familiar with
I
that.
don't think any of them have it.
Yeah, they're not as bad as they used to be from that.
Depends on what the camera is. I can pick it up on my D800, which in theory doesn't have any, but if you set up 10-minute exposure, yeah, you pick up a little glow around the outside of the frame. But
My old Rebel looks like an ASI 1600 timer. So you definitely needed it.
Three images on there when you get to it.
The other thing which might work, I don't know if people use astropixel processor, but it's pretty good at scaling darks for CMOS type cameras. And you might be able to get away with a lot with that. I haven't used DLSR for a decade, but I think it might be designed for people shooting the full frame DLSRs and shooting mosaics, and they have these problems that they confront. And I know the guy who wrote it has tried to make it easier.
All right. Did you want to talk about your?
Yeah. Yes, the black one.
The other one.
Oh, black is very issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
This one or that
Yeah,
one?
no,
This one?
that one.
Please read it.
It's a JPEG, so.
it's one of his dogs.
Yeah, we can see it. There's an image there on it.
See the thumbnail.
They were. Open it in Photoshop.
I'm trying to, it's not popping up as Photoshop.
Watch, have you recently updated your Microsoft viewer?
Maybe like 3 weeks ago.
There you go.
Is this what you wanted?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah. Yeah, I took this up at the Sir Walter Gun Club up in Creedmoor, July 26th. The sky was so-so, but it was up high in the sky, close to the meridian. And this was taken with my Nikon 135mm AIS lens, $100 lens, $110 used. And I used my ASI 294 Pro color camera, which is cool, attached to it. And that was attached to my equatorial mount. And this was a stack of 101 30-second exposures. And the sensor temperature was -10 below ambient. And yeah, when I did the I processed this in nebulosity and GIMP, and there was a bit of a green tinge in there, and I shared it with Mark, and he got rid of the green in the Pix Insight, and then I figured out how to do it in the programs I had, and then I even brightened the red up a little bit. And yeah,
When did you take this, the data?
July 26th.
Yeah, so it was warm.
And looks a little out of focus on the projector here. I mean, it's not the best lens, but
So, talking about, how many megapixels is this?
11.7.
11.7?
Is that one shot color or?
Yes.
So, to give you an idea, let's see. This is how big my camera is. So that's all I'm able to capture. So you can see sensor size matters, but in my case, so did money. But yeah.
What lens do you use?
Money always matters.
Nikon 135 millimeter.
How about you, Chris? What were you using?
Yes, it does make a difference. It's 630 millimeters.
Yeah.
No, excuse me.
So what
Actually,
was
no.
your ASI camera?
No, that was the guy.
It's a Zawa
200.
ASI 294 Pro.
Oh, the 294.
Yeah, this is approximately 7.5 degrees by 5.2 degrees.
It's the Nikon 5300 sensor, right? It's one of the Nikons. I think so.
You know, I think
It's one of the older
my
Nikon.
camera is the Nikon
No, this is
5300.
the back.
Yeah, the 071 is the Nikon 5300, 5500,
Yeah.
and 600 sensor.
So this is Micro Four Thirds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent work on the focus. He zooms in, it looked really clear.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Excellent work on focusing on that.
It can be
It looks
tough
a
to
lot clearer
focus.
on the on a computer screen. So yeah, yeah, it's just.
You just focus it by hand? You just focus it by hand, or you take a picture? Like, how does it-
Yeah, I have a Bantonoff mask, and then I use the app on SharpCat.
That, by the way, is a pretty good reason if you use a DSLR to have something like backyard EOS or backyard Nikon. Because then you can use your laptop screen to try to focus either with a Bantonoff mask or just blowing something up, because I did it